for 3, 2 runs, but you look up and down 1 through 9, there was a lot of depth in this Dogs lineup.
Carolina, the 1-0 game is underway with Danny Drugmueller's first pitch fouled off. A rare off day yesterday. Rain, no hits in her 4 at-bats and struggled a little bit, snapped her hitting streak that was 7 games coming into the regional.
Yeah, and that's the bad news if you're Georgia, that Dallas Goodnight was not kind of firing on all cylinders at the top of the lineup again here in inning 1.
Sharply hit, but right to the first baseman and Jada Baker, who carries it.
Injuries, dealing with some adversity, but Danny Drugmueller has been sort of the unsung hero in the bullpen for this Duke team.
Lindy Ray Davis slashes it into left field, curling towards foul territory, and
Ray, look how tight this one lands.
Man.
If that had gotten down, that's a double for the grad student.
Moved her up to the 2-hole yesterday in the first game of the regional. Had been hitting in the middle of the order for a majority of the season. 2-2 to Davis. Smashes it into the gap in right center field, and it one-hops the wall. Lindy Ray Davis strolls into second with her 9th double of the year, and Georgia's got a runner in scoring position in the first.
To your point, Noah, the loser has to wait around the ballpark. It's 90 degrees here in Durham, and especially with the staffs that both of these ball clubs have, there's not a ton of depth in the circle, especially with how Danny Drugmueller has carried the weight. So if Duke were to lose this ball game, they play later tonight, like you mentioned. Bats from Ellison, they all looked like this one, working deep in accounts, and then 3 really hard-hit balls right at people. So
3-2. Ellison loops it into center field. Jennings carrying back, makes the grab. Runner stays put. So
in this offense with 10 home runs on the year. But I think watching this team yesterday, it wasn't just the go, go, go girls. It was 1 through 9, quality at-bats. They had a game plan, and even so far, we're 4 batters in, and it's clear they're doing the same today.
Slashes it into left center field, falls down in front of the left fielder Burgess. Davis gets held at third, win into second, and there's 2 runners in scoring position for the Dogs and an opportunity to strike in the first inning.
And knowing those high leverage moments is when you want to use that speed.
Gordon tags one into left center in the gap, and that scores 2. A 2-run double for Sarah Gordon, and it's Georgia who jumps in front of Duke in the top of the first.
Georgia having a really solid inning, making Drugmueller pay for the misses over the middle of the plate. But when you play the best in the country, which I would argue the SEC right now is the best conference in the country, you're going to lose some ball games, but you're going to be prepared for postseason softball.
Nobody's going to argue against you there.
Okay, well, you never know out there.
9th pitch of the at-bat to Digby. Lofts it high in the air, right field. It's in foul territory. But
due to a tradition of winning, tradition of excellence, a tradition of championship cultures. Duke building that, but only won Women's College World Series last year, so that confidence, that leadership is invaluable for this Duke team. I'm a little surprised in this situation early in the ball game. You got some momentum. You're down 2 runs, so you're not chasing 1.
She will swing away here, skies it into right field, but that's plenty playable and caught.
Anna Gold now, knowing that she's seeing the ball so well, Georgia's going to have to be very careful with her. There's always that athlete you circle. We're not going to let her beat us. Anna Gold is likely that player for Duke today. Trying to battle there, takes it, which is a good sign if your head coach Marissa Young in the third base coach's box.
Here comes the 2-2 to Gold. Cuts right through it, down on strikes.
Nasty pitch. Looks like some kind of off-speed in on the hands of Anna Gold. Tunnels really well with the pitch.
And she can really switch it up in the zone.
Yeah, I mean, the stuff is there as Malal Ulu goes for third.
And they got her.
6-9 batting 500 yesterday, putting together good at-bat after good at-bat after good at-bat. And it started with Marissa Miller.
Guy that you see, they were all done by the 7, 8, 9 hitters. Emily Digby, who was the 6-hole hitter, she went a perfect 3 for 3. But as far as driving runs in, it really came from these 7, 8, 9 hitters. The first 3 due up for the Dogs here in the second.
And I love how she receives the ball as well. I'm sure we'll talk about it when Randy Rolling jogs back out there in the circle, but that was a huge play.
A 9-strikeout day for Lily Backus yesterday, matched her season high in that complete game win over Coastal Carolina.
Well, it's easy to say, but you got to limit the pitches over the middle of the plate. You know, you look at the doubles that Georgia had, you got to credit the Dogs offense for being on time for those pitches. But they were center cut. That one, a drop ball part of the zone. Here we see a drop ball, outside edge, nasty pitch that gets Miller swinging.
Tony Baldwin said she's still an underclassman, but I don't know how. Feels like she's been a part of our program for 10 years. So much experience. Stepped in right away as a freshman. Started the regionals yesterday with 64 teams, and by the end of the night tomorrow, we will be down to 16. Advancing to a super regional next week. Check swing, she went around. Rodriguez throws down to first.
For the senior after the first inning. This one, off speed, down in the dirt, blocked up by Kyrie Rodriguez. Again, a pitch that cast.
2 runs in the first. That is launched into center field with some carry, and it's gone. Mua Williams' 5th home run of the season, and parade continues for Georgia.
Yeah, the future of this Georgia. Mua Williams, the freshman. Middle drop ball and does not miss it. Gets the foot down, gets the barrel out in front of her, and then lets the bat speed out hitting again. A strong point for this Georgia offense.
Deanna Jennings, the center fielder, took about 2 steps and then stopped.
On the middle of the plate. And when you face elite teams, you just can't make those mistakes. And
now it's Dallas Goodnight, puts a charge in it to right center. Georgia goes back to back. All 4 Georgia runs today have come with 2 outs.
Punishing the softball. If it is going over the white, they are turning it around and hitting it 240 feet plus. This night, 0 for 5 in this regional. Now 1 for 2 on the day. And so, although Georgia punishing the ball over the middle of the plate, it's an adjustment. I feel like Danny Drugmiller, they already experienced the tough moments, and here they stand again.
Rodriguez right over the head of the first baseman in Castori. She's got a leadoff single. KK Mathis cuts right through it.
KK Mathis just a tad under it and right off the face mask of Marissa Miller. As much as it's just jarring and can give you some stars maybe in the vision through the lineup.
That gets past Miller. That allows the runner and Rodriguez to advance 60 feet into scoring position.
With another off speed, Marissa Miller tries to frame. I think that's why you see head coach Tony Baldwin having a conversation, just checking on her.
Here comes the 3-2. Mathis belts it into left field to extend her hit streak to 9 games. Rodriguez gets held late. She crawls back to the bag, and Duke has runners on the corners, threatening down 4 runs.
Hit it hard. Jaden Goodwin does a great job of getting this ball in. Marissa Young holds up Kyrie Rodriguez at the last second. She has to crawl back to third. Mua will. Yeah, and for Duke now, so early in this game, it's not about a big swing. It's about manufacturing runs, getting a ball into the green, tacking one at a time. Knowing you got a cushion.
Burgess slaps one through the hole on the left side. Rodriguez scores Duke's first run of the day.
Get the media attention, but has been crucial. This pitch out over the middle of the plate, finds her way on top. 5-6 hole is open. Digby was shaded towards second base. Score when you have opportunities to, because mentally, whether it's consciously or subconsciously, for Danny Drugmuller in the circle, she's got to be feeling that pressure right now from Georgia.
Baker squares to bunt, fouls it back. Baker skies it high in the air. It's shallow. Stays in the infield for the second baseman and Ellison.
Yeah, Brooklyn Thomas spent a good chunk of the year out in right field and in this position, 8th in the batting order. Aaliyah Terrell has been predominantly a pinch runner, but has stepped in and has done a really good job. Now, behind 0-2, needs to get the ball in play if you're Duke.
Got to see where she goes on 0-2. Slapped right back to the pitcher and Rolling, who wanted to go to third, but nobody was covering the bag. Balls in a strike.
And this is the pitch. 2 mistakes in a row. Hit the fix is the mindset if you're Duke and Deanna Jennings. Pick a side of the plate, attack, commit to the timing. And for Rolling, it's fill up the zone.
Jennings cuts through.
If I'm Rolling, I'm going with that pitch again. Jennings has bit on the pitches up in the zone, Rolling with a ton of movement right now. Or she can mix in the off speed. Ton of options for the sophomore in the circle.
Jennings up in the zone again, flares it up to the shortstop, and Digby with the snag.
They are at their best when their backs are against the wall, and coming into enemy territory here in Durham, North Carolina, I think you could describe this Georgia team with their backs against the wall.
Tyler Ellison, first pitch, swinging, bounces it. Sarah Gordon was one of those big 2-out hits, had a 2-run double to start the scoring in the first. That she just wasn't herself last year, and it's been a completely different story this year, hitting nearly 340. Bouncer, Malau Ulu in foul territory, throws it over to first.
Worry about the call, make the play.
There's the strikeout to end the inning. A very quick 1-2-3 inning.
Brings so much value to the team in so many ways. Can play third, can play first there. Talked to her about her numbers. She said, I don't even know what the numbers are. I don't look at the scoreboard. I don't know what I'm hitting. Well, Amina, if you're ever listening to this, you are hitting incredibly well. 400 plus on the year.
Hold on deck. These two have been such a power punch in the Duke lineup, hitting nearly 400 combined between the two, driving in 110 runs. And yet every number is better this year than it was last year when she was an All-American. Chops one over to second. Ellison on to first. 2 outs. It's also just 8 RBI away from setting the single season record in Duke history. Lofts it high in the air. Will it stay in play for the catcher, Miller? It did, but she couldn't quite come down with it.
And call Miller out, or off, excuse me. Yep, right off the heel of the glove. Mua Williams right there. As they're actually going to make a change here. Sarah Gordon out in right field has caught a bunch throughout her career. Was the offense right now is Georgia is hunting pitches missed over the middle, and Duke seems to be hunting pitches that might even be balls off the inside part of the plate or on the outside part of the plate. Anna Gold there attacking a 1-1 pitch that looked to me like it was a borderline ball.
She sits off of this one. Gold launches one into center field and a long run for Goodnight, but she tracks it. Talk about hitting when it matters, Rain. Today, Georgia is 4 for 7 with 2 outs, 1 for 7 when they've got less than 2 outs.
Yeah, it's really impressive, and that's exactly what you want as a coach, is your team not to give up, to battle pitch to pitch. Of course, you know, if
the catcher spot, and Hannah Davila comes into the game as the right fielder. Look at Miller with the towel around her neck.
Danny Drugmuller is at 66 pitches. The more pitches that this Georgia team sees from Drugmuller, as Davila flies out to Amaya Burgess out and left for the
2-0 pitch is bounced to the shortstop. That's Gold on to first. It is a 1-2-3 inning. Chops it to third. Williams over to first, and there's one away. 1-1. Mathis bounces it right back to Rolling, who fields the position.
Rolling just misses there. I wouldn't change the whole game plan just from that missed call if you're rolling. But for Amaya Burgess, that's an easy take. But those are the pitches Duke has to take.
Here comes the 3-2 from rolling, and Burgess earns the walk. We saw a foul tip off the mask of Marissa Miller, the previous Georgia catcher. Jada Baker into right center field. Goodnight chases it down, and that puts an end to the bottom of the fourth.
Newness for this Georgia ball club. You know, they lose Jada Kearney, Sydney Kuma, Ellie Armistead, Shelby Walters. I mean, there's a number of names I didn't even mention there that you lose from last year, and I think that's why you see the elevated losses for this Georgia ball club.
Everything's been phenomenal. The offense has been there. Everything's clicking right now for Georgia. Goodnight squares to bunt. She lays it down.
Her last time up now, a perfectly placed bunt up the right side. Baker, the first baseman, playing. Acknowledging the speed of Mua Williams. Danny Drugmuller gets called off. Tessa Ulu comes all the way across, but no chance to get the speedy Goodnight.
Just puts it into perspective how much Goodnight can do at the plate. Lindy Ray Davis can't get that. Davis right into center field for a base hit. Her second of the day. Georgia adds another run as Williams comes in to score, and it's 5-1 Dogs.
4 runs away from walking this thing off, getting 3 outs in the bottom half of the fifth, another base hit up the middle.
1 run scores. They hold Mitchell at third. Is at the plate. Now Georgia would have to score 3 runs. They would give them an 8-run lead. Then they'd have to get the 3 outs in the bottom of the fifth. But with nobody out, it's not like it's unrealistic.
Yeah, for them, the less that they can see Danny Drugmuller, this Georgia offense, and the fact that they might not see the other arms in this Duke bullpen is a good thing for Duke.
Goodwin lifts it into the air, foul territory left field.
She's seeing it really well, and then all the way down here to Sarah Gordon. I mean, Sarah Gordon could be a leadoff hitter in most teams across the country, but the fact that they have her in the 5th spot speaks to the depth of this team.
Chops it to short. Gold comes home with it in plenty of time. Still runners on the corners. 2 down. Into right field. Bloops down just over the glove of Vega. Run comes in for Georgia. The tag is there. What a throw and what a tag.
And it's still time to be patient if you're Aaliyah Terrell. There is no 6-run swing.
In on the hand, slow roller to third, took a weird hop, and Williams throw sails over the head of Castori, and Terrell is into second.
And I think that's why Mua Williams couldn't necessarily get a grip. I don't know if a good throw she would have been out anyway, and Aaliyah Terrell uses the wheels, gets the extra 60 feet. That's a great couple takes if you're Deanna Jennings, and for Randy Rolling. But feeling really good that both of these pitches likely could have been a call to strike. I think the umpire had it down, but it's a good pitch.
Jennings lays down the bunt. The throw is in time. Ellison, the second baseman, covering.
Ball is in glove, foot. From that angle, cannot tell if it's off or on.
A walk and a strikeout on the day for Malau Ulu. Chops it off the glove of Rolling. Digby has no play. She does a great job to keep it in the infield.
Fields her position incredibly well. I think on this one, Digby and her probably having a conversation about let me have that one. And Malalo says, hey, I'll take it. Sometimes.
Mina Vega. Emily Digby does make the play this time, stepping on the bag at second by herself. They yesterday in the regional opener where she drove in 5 runs. Struck out her first time up, flew out to the warning track in center field her most recent time to the plate. The 1-0.
Chelsea Wilkinson, the pitching coach for Georgia, the pitch caller, incredible player and an incredible pitching coach as well.
Gold elevates it high in the air, shallow left field for Digby, the shortstop who calls off everybody and ends the inning.
And I mean, what I mean by that is there's been 9 players that have really performed well for Georgia. And then Lily Backus yesterday in the circle. Randy rolling in the circle today have been incredible. And you look at the defense, you look at even the base running, the little thing.
2 outs. There's a called strike 3 to DeVille on the inside corner, and Danny Drugmuller opens up the inning with her 6th strike. Has just 4 at-bats all season. Bross right back up the middle. Her 2nd hit of the entire season comes in the regional. Right on a line to center field, and it's caught by Jennings. 2 down.
Yeah, good softball on both sides here. Mua Williams gets a great piece of that. Duke makes it out after this afternoon. They're likely going to see Drugmuller again.
Pop-up foul territory. Malau Ulu with the grab. Win the regional title. Duke down to its final 6 outs. Rodriguez first pitch swinging into foul territory and right. KK Mathis, that's hot over to third, and it's grabbed by Williams over to first. There are 2 outs. Burgess could not hold up on the swing. It's 3-2.
It's much harder said than done, or much easier said than done.
Burgess rolls it over to second. It is a 1-2-3 6th inning. Come back tomorrow and play 2 games. It's huge. Lindy Ray Davis skies it deep right center field. Jennings at the wall. It's gone. Georgia's 3rd home run of the day is Lindy Ray Davis's 3rd of the season.
Head coach Tony Baldwin moved up the grad student to the 2-hole. Has not disappointed. This one middle in. Drops the barrel. And man, did she not miss it. Up into the jet stream. The deep right center gap has been busy for the fans here at Duke softball.
At just the right time in the season. Ellison, bouncer over to second. 2-0. High chopper to second. Vega backs up on it. Throws to first is late.
Feels about the speed that you have, and it's a scouting thing. And I think if you communicate and you focus, has been so impressive.
Digby bounces it fair. And she's thrown out. She came up a little bit hobbled.
Drugmuller is going to go drop ball in her half. Let's look at the left foot. That's tight. I don't know if it made solid contact there. Yeah, that's. I think I see
close,
some.
Isn't it?
I see hard to overturn.
Call is upheld. Inning is over. Georgia does add 1 with a home run. Sends the 7, 8, and 9 hitters to the plate. Bottom of the order's got to try to do something. Jada Baker loops one down into center field on the first pitch of the inning, and the Blue Devils have the leadoff batter on base. See a little bit of fight, try to see something from them that can maybe propel them the rest of the way. First we get a bunt. Rolling throws it over to first, and Terrell is retired, 1 down.
If you're Chelsea Wilkinson, the pitching coach for Georgia.
There's the 3rd walk of the day for Randy Rolling. 2 runners on for Duke, 1 out. Here comes the pitch. Malau Ulu drills it into left center field, and it falls down in front of Goodnight. Runner gets the wave, got caught up in the middle, and the throw home is in time to get Baker.
She didn't get a good jump, knowing Dallas Goodnight can cover some serious ground, so that makes that play close.
Vega on a line to the second baseman. The throw over to first is in time from Ellison, and the Georgia Bulldogs knock off the host Duke and advance to the regional final tomorrow.
And the Bulldogs, Georgia, and Randy Rolling, the sophomore, pitched an absolute gem. Painted the corners all day long, and all day long it was the Dogs' day.
Jumped out to a 4-0 lead through the first 2 innings and never together, both yesterday against Coastal Carolina and today against the 14th overall national seed in Duke, and they find themselves 1 win away from advancing to a super.